Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So thank you for everyone who came out for the Hecate Halloween, and for everyone else, I hope that you had a wonderful Samhain or Halloween. And let's go ahead and let's begin. Taking a step aside and allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay, so the first thing that I'm seeing is like this image of a rocket, and it's still on the launch pad though. It's like all that fire is going, and I'm hearing like going where no man has gone before. So there's something new that it feels like there's something new that we're quickly adding before we're taking off somewhere. We may even feel like we are taking off somewhere. It's like a new addition to our energy. This can come in the form of a change or a literal addition, something we're implementing into our schedule, something that we're deciding to do now. But for some of you, this is a change, like a change of environment or something that you're changing for yourself. There is this feeling that someplace, something, some person never experienced. So whatever it is, you've never been there, or you've never done that thing, or you've never tried this. And that's what we seem to be adding. For some of you, it's going to be something really small, but for some of you, it's rather large, right? It's something that is impacting you on a greater level. Whatever it is that you're adding, it's changing something inside of your energy field, as all things do, right? As all things that we add. But this change is significant, even if it's a small thing that we're adding in. There's a significant change coming into our energy field. And it follows some sort of purge that we experienced. So there was a purge and then this addition or this change into the space where the purge occurred. And it almost feels that the opportunity or the insight or the knowledge of this thing happened rather quickly, right? So, oh, I just found out about this thing. Well, let me go do it, right? Or, oh, I just found out about this, like, I can even see how this is resonating for me. I found out from another content creator about like some online scheduler platform. I was like, hey, I'm going to check that out. And then I was just like, yeah, I'm going to do it because it looks great. It looks like it will help me out a lot. So it could be something small like that. But the energy that's coming in is that whatever this is that has recently been adopted or been adapted really impacts our energy going forward. And whether it's negative or positive is not the point of this reading, because just because it's coming through the reading doesn't necessarily mean it's positive, right? Whether it's negative or positive is going to be determined on a bunch of factors, right? What are you doing there? What is your motivation for adding this? What space got filled, and did you heal before you added something new? It's going to be determined by how do you interact with this new energy? Are you able to allow the new energy to be what it is, or is there something about the new energy that's not correct for you? There's all sorts of factors that are going to determine whether your experience with this new energy is negative or positive, but understand that the message that's coming through is that whatever the small change recently was, the impact is going to be big. Now, oh, okay, and then this is where they want me to pull cards, okay. I'll be honest, it almost feels a little bit like whoever this message is for, again, you know, going where no one has gone before, right? This is the start of a new journey. And so for those of you who you may have understood that you were already in the new phase, but it was going very slowly, it's like it's beginning now. And you know that, you can see that, you can feel that tide turn. There is this sense here that this is a stepping stone to a greater energy. So how this energy that we've recently incorporated impacts us is going to determine kind of the trajectory that we're starting to follow. And, you know, I want to get away from ideas of getting off course, being on course. It's not that, right? That, to me, that's like a very weird way to conceive of our spiritual path. You're always on the path. This is really just going to determine the trajectory that we're following. Now, we do seem to have made some sort of decision. There was a firm decision in adding this energy into our life, whether it was a change or if it was literally an addition. There was some sort of firm decision. So we had to take some sort of action in order to cause this to happen. Okay. I do feel for many of you, this is getting you in touch with a very sort of like creator energy inside of yourself. So for example, if you've recently moved, you may find that this helps you to get back in touch with the aspect of who you are that maybe was dormant for a little while, or maybe you felt was closed off for a little while. If you are incorporating a new element into your routine, you may find that it brings out a more creative side of you. You might feel like, decorating more or rearranging your home, or you might feel like coming up with new ideas for the workplace. It's like this small thing that we've implemented. It has a domino effect inside of our life. For some of you, you're implementing something that you're going to wind up feeling isn't the best for you, but what happens in the interim is something that really gets you in touch with yourself, and that way it was necessary, right? So you're going to kind of know. And how do you know? Because you will already have that fear instilled inside of you. You will already worry, is this the right step, right? You'll already worry, did I incorporate the right thing? When it's right for you, you don't question those things, right? And sometimes it is right for you, it's just challenging you to grow. And so how you interpret how it's challenging you to grow into negative or positive is up to you. Okay. This is all about finding a sense of balance and harmony within the self. We have the Hermit and the Justice card. This is going inside and something starts to balance out. I am going to say that for some of you, you had a definite rock bottom crash before this moment, and that was part of the purge. And if there is a rock bottom moment and there's part of a purge, and there's been an aspect of yourself or things about yourself that you have not necessarily been willing to see, right? Even the most willing person, it's wild how sometimes you can see that, oh wow, I wasn't looking at that, and oh, I can see how I was resisting it, right? There may have been something that somebody was resisting seeing, and this is going to force that open, this new implementation of some new energy. So for some of you, that's simply adding a permission to your mindset that you're allowed to look at certain things, right? But this is causing some sort of harmony and balance, and I'm hearing restoration of order to take place. Okay, we're taking all three in the bottom. I do think that, so I want to clarify something here, because I was bringing up like positive and negative, and remember that those are highly subjective. Those are highly subjective. Now, there is this idea here that we are waiting here. There's some sort of, okay, underneath, how do I want to put this in a linear way? The most uncomplicated linear way. One of the things that we're seeing that restores this balance is that we're seeing some sort of, it's almost like there's this heartbreak and then there's this us, and we're waiting before we deal with it, right? This could be literal. It could be a heartbreak. It could be something that is some sort of grief inside of us that we have yet to have access to. It's just some sort of difficult emotion or some sort of difficult situation that maybe we've been skirting around. If, for example, the purge include leaving something behind, maybe you needed to leave so fast that you didn't have time to process this. And this is what this is going to cause right now, is this sort of processing. This strength card for me doesn't mean things that it normally means inside of the readings. For me, in this context, what it means is almost like a recovery. And you have at the very bottom, you have the Six of Wands, we're going 3 down, the Pentacles, and then the Ace of Pentacles. So this feels like whatever this addition is, whether it's positive or negative, again, highly subjective for everyone. This is really going to be something that brings us in touch to an aspect of ourself that teaches us a greater sense of self-love and creates a part of us that has much more to offer. So for those of you who have been worried about, my path, my destiny, my, all the things, what am I supposed to do, my purpose, all of this, what's happening right now with this integration of something or this adoption of something or this change that you've recently implemented, this is a very important stepping stone towards a cultivation within you that is now going to be something that you can offer. It's going to be something that takes a few months. I'm hearing like right off the top, like I'm hearing 6 months. For many of you, it's going to take about 6 months to really manifest this thing that you then have to offer. But there's a lot of lessons involved in the next few months, especially going into the spring with the 3 of Wands. For me, this is one of my spring cards. And there's this time frame here between spring and then late August of next year, where there's going to be this entire scenario that plays out, where this stepping stone starts to evolve. For some of you, the stepping stone, you know, one of the things to remember is that you're pulling in an energy. It's not necessarily about the situation, circumstance, person around you. It's about the energy that you're bringing into your own experience and how it's alchemizing with you. So if you can think of it that way, not to like dehumanize people that you've brought into your life or anything like that, but if you can remember the point is this process of alchemization that's continuously happening for you. And there does seem to be something in about 6 months time, right? So somewhere within that, April time period. And this is where we start to have something to offer. This is carrying us into very interesting energy going into late August. So next summer for a lot of you is going to be very interesting. There is this moving away from a version of ourself here that didn't know how to do for ourself. Whether this is, you know how to do a lot of things in one area of your life, but then there's other areas of your life that are lacking. One thing that I'm seeing is I'm seeing a lot of balance, and that's coming in because of this Justice card. Right? When we have this sort of balance and the right place, right time, and your heart is lighter than the feather. A lot of emotional purging may be taking place at this time for somebody because of that. It's like starting from a clean slate is one of the energies that's coming through here for someone, right? It's not necessarily on a collective level, but I am getting that whoever is actually going through that big emotional purge, the cycles of anger and then grief, it's definitely creating this sort of clean slate energy. Someone here who is about to become a mother, this whole process of that becoming a mother and stepping into that next phase of your life from maiden to mother, there's this sort of intense evolution that starts to happen for you here. There's something from your own childhood maybe that is being processed at this time as you're going through this energy. And just know that if that is you, if you are experiencing that right now, this is creating a very solid foundation for the next generation coming through. Okay, let's see. Cut the deck. And then we have the King of Cups, Temperance, and then the Five of Wands. Okay, so going back to what I had said earlier, that if you're someone who has recently incorporated something, added something, and you have that wobble, right? Is this the right way? Is this the right thing? Is this thing good for me? This is the time to be super honest with yourself, okay? That's one of the meanings of the Justice card and the Hermit together, is to go in and get really clear with yourself. For someone here, there is an understanding of a conflictual energy that we're integrating into ourselves, and understand that if it's conflictual enough, for example, if it is rewounding you in certain ways that you haven't yet healed, really be honest with yourself. Can I alchemize this, or am I just hoping I can alchemize it? Because you don't want to get involved in another energy that's going to basically open that wound further, right? Because then you're going to have a lot more work to do when it's over. Here, there's something about really raw emotional spaces for some of you. And so if you're in a raw emotional space and you're experiencing this, especially if you've entered a new environment socially or added something new into your life that's social, so a partner or a friend group, take care. Right? Take care, especially if you were in a very raw emotional space, and be very honest with yourself every step of the way. Don't hold to the things that you do not need. Okay? That's just a little bit of a warning there for somebody. Now, for everyone else, with this King of Cups to the Temperance to the Five of Wands, this is really talking about there's been something on our emotional foundational level. I'm not talking about childhood necessarily. I'm talking about us as a person, baseline, right? Us as people, baseline for this collective. There is this sort of something that was a little tumultuous that was going on, something that was a little conflictual inside of our energy. This may be, what direction do I pick? It may be, did I do the right thing? It might be, how do I release this grieving? It might be, how do I, all kinds of things. But there was something here inside of our energy field that was a distortion. And what's taking place through this entire process, and especially now, I'm kind of hearing, especially now with this incorporation of this new energy, it's really understanding the root of alchemizing, of how picking up and going to a new environment, how that can really change and shift our energy, how inserting ourselves into a new social environment can really change our energy. It's a lesson on how, you know, even adding something simple like what I just did, right? A daily planner, how that can really change our energy, right? So finding the places inside your life where there's a distortion and then adding a new energy to it within healthy parameters, right? Healthy and appropriate parameters. This is one way to kickstart that alchemization process for ourselves if we're having a hard time doing so. So I'm going to leave this here. It's a little shorter. I'm going to leave this here. It's almost like an energy dynamics lesson that's coming through from Spirit. So keep an eye out on that. And yeah, if it resonates for you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment. And until next time.